Today's topic is all about being a high-impact software engineer. And why is that even important? Think bigger bonuses, more promotions, better projects, more recognition, you name it, and you can get it within your company. So I have 3 things to share with you today, which helped me go from a new grad engineer to a senior engineer within a year and a half. And if you implement this, you can pretty much replicate what I did in a pretty similar manner. So if that sounds interesting, let's get straight into it. So I want to start talking about taking initiatives. Now, why is that important? Most engineers are more reactive instead of proactive. So what that means is engineers, they usually wait to be assigned work from product managers, engineering managers, technical managers, whatever. Instead of being more proactive in finding their own work and bringing the work up to the product managers or the engineering managers based on what they have noticed within the company, based on what they think will benefit the company in the long term, or basically which will help move the needle within the company. This is a very big misstep, especially when you want to be recognized as a top engineer or a high impact engineer. High impact engineers, they find work for themselves. They find these pain points within the company can be various different areas. For example, they pick up work that most developers or other engineers, they don't even want to do, or they find it a hassle to do. When these engineers pick up this kind of work, they immediately get recognized for it because, like I said, no one else wanted to do it. So even the higher ups get to know about them. Now, to give you a couple more examples so that you can maybe visualize this, think about developer experience stuff. It's not at all glamorous, but can make big, massive impacts on multiple different teams within the engineering organization. It's not glamorous like application code or system design and all those quote-unquote glamorous things, but the impact and visibility is pretty significant. Similarly, doing more infra-level work. Again, not at all shiny, glamorous at all, but the company runs on it. All your company's software is going to run and heavily depend on the infrastructure that you will develop, you will maintain, or the kind of tools and technologies that you will propose to be used within the company. So again, these are very specific examples, but you can think about this a bit more as to like why an engineer needs to be more proactive and just pick up things that other engineers might not even want to do. This will 100% set you apart. Now, this kind of brings me into my second point, doing better documentation. And why this ties into point 1, I'll talk about it next. So, when you are a proactive engineer, you come up with new initiatives, you come up with new ideas, which in turn better the company, better the teams, whatever it is. But these initiatives will require having buy-in from multiple different stakeholders, multiple different teams. So how are you going to build alignment between all these different moving teams? So think about it. Let's say you have a project in mind or an initiative in mind which involves 6 different teams. Let's say 4 different engineering teams, product, technical solutions, maybe even customer service, for example. Building alignment, getting everyone's thoughts and opinions on an idea is going to be extremely difficult, if not completely messy. Why? Let's say you start doing offline discussions on Slack. Now the information is super scattered all over multiple Slack threads. And if someone wants to come and get more context on this project, they cannot, because information is just so scattered and not really searchable, which makes it hard for a person to grasp and onboard themselves onto this project. Now, on a different example, imagine you instead set up a bunch of online meetings with all the different team members on a weekly cadence. Again, now information is scattered. Different things are discussed in different meetings, and different conclusions are reached. So if someone new wants to get onboarded onto the project, let's say a new engineer joins your team, new engineer joins the company, and they want to be a part of this project, they want to help extend it. Now, if you don't have all this information consolidated, summarized in a concise manner, it's going to be extremely hard for someone to build knowledge base around this project and start working on it and get the ball rolling. So from day one, instead, if you start jotting down all your thoughts, all the sub thoughts, all the pros and cons of the different options and everything that was discussed in a document, and with a well-structured manner, with more structured discussions happening directly on the doc, for example, using Google Docs. Now, all the information is now in a structured, extremely readable and searchable format that now anyone can easily onboard onto and heavily promote knowledge sharing within the company. The doc can be passed from team to team, from engineer to engineer, and anyone can learn about the project, the progress, all the pros and cons of all the different options and all the options that were discussed, and what conclusion was reached and why that conclusion was reached. Let me tell you, that stuff is extremely powerful. Believe me when I say this will again significantly raise the amount of impact and recognition that you get within your company. Okay. Now, this ties into my third point. Always wanting to learn and grow. Now, why does this tie into point number 3? If you want to make more impact, if you want to take more initiatives, you need to learn to document better. But if you don't have those technical skills to identify these high impact projects or be able to tackle these more complex projects that are pushed onto you by higher ups, how are you going to tackle them? You need to keep learning and growing in some way or another. There's multiple different ways that you can do this, but I'll share with you the 2 main ways which I really benefited from. 1, actively seeking mentorship. You don't have to be the smartest engineer in the room, but you just need to be humble. You need to reach out to people who are more experienced and more knowledgeable than you and just learn from them. It doesn't have to be active mentorship, it can be passive mentorship when you just shadow them, which can slowly turn into more active mentorship, but you also offer to help them with their tasks so that their time frees up into mentoring others like you. And now apart from this, another thing you can do is just start reading more. Can be reading white papers, reading books, reading blogs, whatever. Even starting building something during your free time, just so that you experiment with new technologies, you learn new languages, new frameworks, whatever it is. But just constantly having this mindset of learning, growing, even when you're not working, is definitely going to push you past that limit, push you past your comfort zone, so that you can start identifying these high impact projects, start documenting them, and hey, making a massive impact within your company and significantly boosting your recognition in the company, and then leading to bigger bonuses, promotions, you name it. So these are the 3 main points that I wanted to discuss today. Number 1, just taking more initiatives and focusing on what truly matters. Number 2, documenting these initiatives thoroughly, which is going to help build alignment and just help with knowledge sharing across different teams. And number 3, always learning and growing oneself no matter the consequences. So if you do these 3 things, I can pretty much guarantee you that you will lead yourself to bigger bonuses, better promotions, more recognition, and overall a much higher impact within your company. I am rooting for you and I'm here to help.